from Abundant Life Tarot, and I am doing a review on the Oracle of Nightmares by White Rabbit Oracle. Get a little further back here. And the deck creator and artist is Ariana Siegel from White Rabbit Oracle, and that's on Etsy. At least where I made my purchase was from her Etsy store under White Rabbit Oracle. I also own her White Rabbit Oracle deck. Adore that oracle so much. I do use it for both personal readings and person-to-person readings. So it goes everywhere with me typically when I travel. And so I decided, in the spirit of Halloween, I was going to get a deck that was not so Halloween themed, that I could theoretically use it not just during the fall season, but then to use it whenever I really fancy to use it. And I thought I would give her decks a try, because she also has another deck, another oracle deck that is called the Oracle of Shadows, which also appears very kind of like Halloween-esque. But I, again, didn't want something too themey at this point. I almost got the Blue Angel Halloween Oracle, and I decided against it. It's a beautiful deck, and I feel like probably in some time in the future, maybe I'll get it, but some of the keywords I wasn't necessarily vibing with. Whereas with this little gem, I was vibing with this deck, and it doesn't come with a guidebook, and it's like typical tarot size. Here's the back, got a little skeleton on the back, black back, kind of almost looks like, I don't know, like a screen or a netting. You can't really get it in this camera, but it does not have meanings like her White Rabbit Oracle and like her Oracle of Shadows, which is fine. Like I've mentioned it in my September favorites, I don't necessarily need guide words or or corresponding meanings. So we'll just dive right into looking at the card images. So it comes in like a tuck box, and some people complain, I'm just looking at my son, some people complain that the box is too large and the cards move around. I don't really take issue with that. It's not an issue for me. If it really were an issue for me, I would take it out of the box and find another means to store it. But I keep it stored in its box, and it's been fine. And I've owned it now maybe a couple of weeks. And then this is the cover that I showed you, and this is actually one of the cards. And so we'll just take a look at some of her cards. We have Disappointment, Haunted, Offering. Some of these are so dark, I may have to try to turn on the light a little bit bright. But I don't know, maybe that's better. So let's look at these other ones again. This is Haunted. And this is Disappointment. So kind of black and white with little hints of color. Illumination. Confusion. Dread. That is Dread. Clown. Legacy. Liberation. Memory. I like this one. Indecision. can't decide. Repression. Regret. I think this card makes me sad. Ooh, I don't know why it does, but it does. Wounds. It's a great shadow deck that I will be using for like the fall months and maybe going into the winter months. Transformation. Scrutiny. Got my eye on you. Caution. Identity. Taking your mask off, being vulnerable. Okay, so I am back. I had to allow my camera to cool down, so it was just on fire. All right, we have intuition. I'm trying to scoot back. See, maybe I'll bring the camera closer. This is secrets. Truth. Finale. I like this one. Encounter. Fear. Withdrawal. Confront. Doubt. Try to get close. Possibilities. There's that white rabbit. Entrapment. Can't tell. Like they're entrapped in a mirror of some sort, like a ghost entrapped in a mirror. You know, it's quite interesting. Risk. This is the cover card, and it's an escalator. It looks like taking a risk. Overwhelm. Right, so I'll just show a few more here. Inertia. Oh, look at that card. It's a badass card. Acceptance. Manifestation.
Okay.
1 second. Yeah?
Oh, sorry. Are you online?
Sorry, folks. That was my husband asking me a question about... anyways, it was a question. He didn't realize I was recording, so I wanted to spare you all of that. Let's see if there's any... I basically showed a lot of... Here's the shadow. All of the cards. I'm going to refrain from showing any others, but and I'll also put the number of cards. I'm not quite sure, or just the link to White Rabbit Oracle's link to her Etsy shop, and it will list on her site the number of cards in the deck, because who knows, maybe a new edition will come out. A new edition will come out, and then there might be additional cards than what edition I've received. So I will be sure to put the link to her sites in the description box. And so what we'll do is just kind of take a look. I'm toying with the idea of when I edge my Steampunk Tarot in black, I'm going to also, you know, during the same sitting, do the same for this deck. I think it'll be nice, edged in black. But yeah, so far I've used it a few times and it's been accurate. It's a great oracle. The keywords definitely I can work with, and I actually really like the deck. I see it even being used beyond Halloween, so that I also appreciate. The Halloween Oracle is just that. It's a Halloween Oracle, and that's okay. I mean, it's got trick or treat in it and all of that good stuff, but I was concerned about the repetitiveness of the skulls images, and I sometimes just don't want to shuffle big oracle cards. I want to shuffle these kind of size cards, these tarot size cards. Even my oracle, that's just what I prefer. But I know that's not the normal way. So anyways, what we'll do is we will switch angles. But before we switch angles, I just want to say I do enjoy this deck. I do recommend it. I resonated with it on site, looking on her Etsy shop, watching a couple of videos. It's not that many videos because it's an independent deck. And I like to support my local Californian deck creators. And she's from Alameda, I believe the town, and I was from Alameda County. So I like to support the local peoples. And so it shuffles beautifully. I'll show more of that when I change angles. But again, I'm just going to show a similar card stock to her White Rabbit Oracle. It's not the same, I'm sure. And again, very easy to riffle shuffle too. So yeah, highly recommend it. And yeah, let's take a look at it a little bit more up close. So here we go. So here's the deck up close. We have the card back with a little baby skeleton and what appears to be some sort of lace. You can't really tell on the card even close up. But I just kind of wanted to show you how easy it is to shuffle and handle the deck. The deck itself is standard tarot size, and so most hands should be able to shuffle with ease. Let's see. So just want to have a couple of random cards come for. Just kind of look at them. Oh. Any other messages, Spirit, for us? Okay, so first card that comes up is disquiet, then guilt, and then haunted. Disquiet. What has got you uneasy, not at peace? What's stirring and just under the surface for you? what is coming up in the night, but scattering as the dawn comes, but constantly on a repeat reel running in your mind? What is disquieting your mind? Dis obviously mean not to have, or and then quiet means you know, peace and stillness. There's something that is unsettling you, and from what I can tell here, it would be guilt. There's something that's lurking in the past for some of us that is causing us to not be at peace and to have guilt about it, whether we felt like there was something that we could not have prevented or controlled, or maybe there was an action we could have done that could have maybe changed the different outcome. And therefore, this guilt is haunting us, the haunted, and it's not allowing us to have peace. And so we have to be able to root out what it is that we're feeling guilty about, and then recognize that guilt is one of those emotions that, yes, it gives you some information. It gives you information over the fact that you feel a certain emotion surrounding a certain person or thing. I got cut off. My camera keeps cutting off right in the middle of things. So finally, we're dealing with the fact that if you let your guilt about whatever the situation is continue to haunt you, maybe you felt like you let somebody take the fall for something, or maybe you didn't feel like you protected someone enough, or maybe you feel guilty about overspending, or maybe you feel guilty about mistreating someone. Whatever the guilt is, it's not giving you peace, and it's coloring your experience. You just don't realize that subconsciously is coloring other aspects of your relationships with others. And that guilt can be pervasive, as you can see. But with things that haunt you, there's always a place and room to put whatever is haunting you back in its proper place. And just say, you know what? I don't need your ghost following me anymore. I've taken the lesson from what it is that I felt guilty about. And that's the beautiful thing about guilt, is that it says, okay, it forces you to kind of look at a situation for what it is, and then to forgive yourself and to forgive others, and not also have people be indebted to you with guilt. Like people always having to feel guilty because they transgressed you or they did something wrong to you. Holding them and haunting them is just as detrimental as something haunting you. So don't be the haunted, and don't be the person haunting the other person, and constantly having them feel guilt about a situation. Maybe it was someone, a spouse who may have flirted with someone or even cheated even. If you've elected to stay in the relationship and you've elected to continue the path on with that partner, then holding that over your partner's head over and over again and haunting them with that for that guilt is not healthy, and it's causing you lack of peace. So I feel like for some people, that's who it's speaking about. It could be something as not as devastating as an affair, but it could be, take something like you didn't report something to your manager when you should have, and now there's consequences and things like that. It could be any of those things. So again, just watch what is going on with the haunting and putting the ghosts back into their proper places so they're not overruling and disquieting you. And so that would be the best advice to give with regards to whatever this particular situation is. But I just wanted to illustrate how these cards work together before my camera cuts off again. And I just really like this deck. I don't have a guidebook, and I don't feel like I need one. And who knows, maybe I will get the Halloween Oracle. I just read something, I think it was on Tarot Nerds, or maybe it was on another Facebook page that was speaking about the other, the Halloween Oracle that's by Blue Angel, I believe. And that particular deck is gorgeous. Again, it's just some of the keywords didn't resonate with me. So it'll remain to be seen if I actually get it this Halloween season. It is on sale right now on Llewellyn's site, and this is October, beginning of October 2017. So it's like a couple dollars off of the Llewellyn worldwide website. So again, you have just been watching the Oracle of Nightmares review. I thoroughly enjoy this deck. It will be in rotation in my readings, and you will probably see more of it in the future because I have a feeling that I will be using it month to month. It's just I had an instant connection with White Rabbit Oracle's decks, and yeah. Anyways, just want to thank you all so much for watching, and let me know what you think. Let me know if you've used this deck before. Your thoughts, opinions. If you do have this deck, how do you use it? I always like to hear how people actually utilize their decks in their own readings, in their own spiritual practices. So many blessings to you all. Stay abundant, stay blessed. And until next time, thanks for watching and see you soon.